owner of the property does not want the potted plants on top of the carport, we will need you to have all items removed from on top of the carport. Welcome everybody to another episode of The Urban Gardener. And as I always say, please hit the subscribe button down below. Follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. Hate to be kind of down, but it's not so fun when you get back from such a fun event like the National Heirloom Expo was for us to get a notice, which is not necessarily just any regular notice. This is a notice of termination with cause. This is basically an eviction notice that I was given from the owner of the property that I rent from. Now, there's a middle business involved, a property management group that I have an agent that I work with. The owner had let them know that they just did not like the plants being up here and that I had needed to remove them. Fortunately, I did try to contact them and offer my sense of a remedy. I offered to pay more for a security deposit and offered other things as well in order to try to save the rooftop pepper garden up here. But unfortunately, like I guess a lot of people might deal with, if you're not a homeowner and you have to rent your own property, you have probably people or owners or these business people who look at this sort of thing and just don't understand it. And it's not that the pepper garden is causing any sort of physical damage or anything like that. I take very, very good care of how I manage the pepper garden up here. It was one thing I did make sure I was very, very clear with them on. But it's really unfortunate. I've had this project going for a couple of years now. It's been really, really fun. It's really opened up a dialogue with my neighbors. As everybody has seen, I'll put an iCard above for the episode where we had the police show up here to check it out and wondering what it was. And it was fun, they just came and checked, had a laugh about it. It was an interesting experience, that experience in its own. But for the most part, the pepper garden has really been an attraction. It's a real eye catcher in the neighborhood. So people from all over who drive by or see it, they usually come by, they ask me questions. It really created a good opening for me in the neighborhood to really meet some of my neighbors I probably wouldn't have met otherwise. Peppers are still doing really, really good. They're still really producing right now. So it's one of the things we'll do here real quick is we'll kind of cut down some of the ripe peppers that we got out of the plants, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and start the process of taking them down. I did talk with my neighbor who this is a duplex apartment type situation. The neighbor next door did offer up some of their back patio space, and we'll probably put some along the back fence line there along the alleyway. There are like 24 of these up here, so we will have to make some room for them. I'm not giving up though. I'm going to keep appealing to the property managers and whatnot in order to see if we can maybe find a resolution for maybe the next season after that. So hopefully, this won't be the final look at our pepper garden, but it is one of the last ones for now. And hopefully we'll get to see it back up here again in the future. And hopefully it was an inspiration to many of you out there who have saw the kind of opportunities for utilizing space that you might not think of. A good flat rooftop like this is a perfect opportunity to be able to get up and grow some of the things that need some of the really good full sun type of setting in order to grow. So if you have any pepper gardens of your own or any other plants that you're growing up on your rooftop, send me some pictures, let me know in the comments down below. That'd be really cool. I'd like to hear about those if this has been inspiring at all. But like I said, unfortunately it's got to go, and I'm really kind of sad about it. But we'll keep on gardening. We'll keep on pushing forward with newer projects and other things that will kind of replace this, hopefully. I've got some things in mind. So we'll really kind of focus on some of that stuff this next coming season. We're not going to stop growing peppers. Peppers will be a mainstay of the urban gardener. It's one of my favorite things to grow. Look forward to all of that as we keep growing too, okay? So let's get down here and let's check out these plants, see how they're doing right now. Let's pull off some of the ripe fruits and say goodbye to our rooftop garden. Just a quick look at some of the plants that we've got here. Some are doing well, like we've got these poblanos here. They're already starting to set up some new fruit, already getting ready to come out. We did pick a bunch of those off right before leaving to the Heirloom Expo. This plant here though, is probably one of the ones that's not doing as well. This is an Anaheim, and as you can tell, these pods don't look anything as good as a healthy Anaheim should, so I'm not real keen on that plant there necessarily. Let's see, right down this way though, we do got these yellow sweet peppers, and we got some pretty good nice ones here on there. It's pretty loaded up. They're all getting really ripe, so we'll have to pull those off. Here next to it, we've got just one of those Dos des Landes sweet peppers. As I said before, it's one of those ones that looks like it's a red hot pepper, but those things are really sweet, really delicious. They're almost like a pepper was a candy of sorts. Another really good pod right there. Look at that. That's a good one there. And another plant that's same variety, just not doing as well right behind it. We got some smaller pods on there. And another Italian orange sweet pepper. It's doing pretty good. And out of our bell peppers that we grew, we have 4 of them here. Here, 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 and here. This one here is definitely not a sweet bell pepper. And it seems like my bell pepper or something must have crossed with one of the poblanos this last season. And it's got a nice little poblano heat to it. It's just a little bit different of a pod for a poblano. A little more solid, a little bit more wall to it, like a sweet pepper would. It's an interesting cross. But we do got some really nice big bells coming off of these other plants here. And the cayenne pepper is just loaded down with peppers. Take some of that weight off of it here real soon. And we've got some jalapenos ripening up to red in there. And over here, this is an ahi variety, but like I said, some of these seeds are not quite turning out like I was thinking they would, so let's see how this turns out when they start ripening up. It's an ahi pineapple. Still not quite looking like what I remember the ahi pineapple pods looking like, but an interesting variety anyways. And then from my friend Brendan Picante, his gnarly red. Got some nice looking pods on there. And nice looking pod there. Still waiting for them to ripen up. It should be shortly. And over here, we got another one that's not turning out to be what it's supposed to be, as you can tell right back there. There's a red pod on what's supposed to be a chocolate habanero. So that did not come through right. And right next to it, we got these fat looking Scotch bonnets. I don't know. Another one of Brendan's plants. Just I'm not getting any pods off of that one, but we're getting some pods on the third variety. He gave us a pod A, a pod B, and a pod C from 3 different pods. Pod A is looking pretty good. Pod B is not producing us any pods at all. And the one before with the really nice pods was pod C. Let's see here. Right next to that we've got, which is the favorite amongst my friends and people who I've given them to, is this Sugar Rush Peach. And what I want to point out too is the bottom of this. Now I grew the Sugar Rush Peach out last season, and I got a lot of really good Sugar Rush type pods. They're a little bit thinner and longer than say this one, but I did get a couple of these kind of button-nosed pods, and I saved the seeds specifically from those. So that's what those are there. And hopefully, again, when these ripen up, I'll save seeds from this type and try to continue out growing out that variation of the Sugar Rush Peach. Let's see if it works out. And in the bucket next to the Sugar Rush Peach, we've got our Devil's Brain, another variety we've grown out from previous years and saved seeds from. They're not quite ripe yet. We've got plenty of really cool ripply pods. Got this nice ripple to them. Makes them a really neat one. Right back here though, you can see, got some weird abnormalities coming off of here. This one's got like a big long, what would be like a nose, but then it's also got another one coming off over there. It's always interesting to see what pepper pods will do in growing. They kind of sometimes make some strange looking pods. And next to our Devil's Brain, we have one of the first Carolina Reaper pods that I've been able to grow. This one's nice and wrinkly, looks really, really hot. When it gets ripened up, I'm sure it'll be even more scarier. But look at this one. That one's got a nice stinger on it there. And then next to the Carolina Reaper, so we can see with the little one there, it does have the chocolate color that we're looking for and what is to be chocolate habaneros. Just the pods are just a little longer, not quite, as I said with the others, not quite looking like habanero pods completely. But we'll test them out for their strength later on. So all right, everyone, I want to really thank you all so much for joining me on this not so fun episode of The Urban Gardener. It's not really cool to be able to lose something that was so fun and so really cool. I just hope that it was really inspiring to people, the time that we had the garden up on the rooftop. You know, I can always imagine someday, you know, I'll be a homeowner and have my own place, and because of this experience, I'll probably purposely build myself a flat rooftop just to rebuild this garden again. Maybe, who knows, maybe in the next season or two we can convince the owner that with a security deposit or something like that, that we can go ahead and continue to grow the garden. We'll keep our fingers crossed when it comes to that. I just, you know, how can you not enjoy growing something so cool with such different varieties and everything than peppers? But we'll continue growing them and continue our gardens, as you know, I really love growing peppers, and we'll keep growing different varieties and doing different things as seasons to come. We'll just have to grow them in a different place. I want to thank you all for joining me again on this episode. Please, if you have any questions or concerns or anything, please hit me up in the comment section down below, and give this video a big thumbs up for our rooftop pepper garden. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button down below. Follow along with more garden adventures as we continue growing here on The Urban Gardener. And I'll see you again on the next episode. You're gonna roll around in that nice soil, aren't you? Yeah. Oh, Carl.